I confessed that I made a fake profile and fell in love with the wrong person. If you believe secrets should never stay buried, subscribe now and stay until the end. Every confession hides more than it reveals.
Why did you create the false identity, my child?
It began almost innocently, like a dare to myself. I borrowed a stranger's photo, gave him a name that wasn't mine, and wrote a biography that sounded braver, richer, and sharper than the life I actually lived. At first it felt harmless, like slipping into a costume at a masquerade ball. But soon the mask became more comfortable than my own skin. Every message I sent, every like I received, it wasn't for me, it was for the man I had created. The danger, Father, is that I felt alive in that lie, while in my real life, I was barely surviving.
And your real life, was it so unbearable?
My reality was grey, monotonous, and suffocating. I went to work, returned home, and repeated the same cycle like a machine. No one noticed me. I was invisible to colleagues, ignored by family, and forgotten by friends who once swore loyalty. But behind the fake profile, I was charismatic, witty, and admired. People waited for my words. They craved my presence online, when in truth, outside the screen, I could disappear and no one would notice. The fake profile wasn't just an escape, Father. It became a second life, one that slowly eclipsed the real one.
When did you meet the person who changed everything?
It happened one late night, when loneliness was louder than silence. Her profile popped up in a group chat, and unlike others, she wasn't superficial. She laughed at the smallest things I wrote, shared secrets after only hours of conversation, and confessed fears that mirrored my own. She wasn't looking for perfection. She was looking for honesty. Ironically, honesty was the only thing I couldn't give her. Every word she read was true from my heart, but spoken through a mouth that wasn't mine. And Father, that's when the danger began. When lies started to feel like truths, and truths began to feel like lies.
Did your heart betray you, my son?
At first, it was just play. I typed words with the casual detachment of someone gaming with another person's soul. But soon, every notification, every vibration of my phone felt like a pulse directly in my veins. I waited for her messages as if they were oxygen. Her good morning was the sunlight I hadn't seen in years, and her good night wrapped around me like a blanket in the coldest of winters. I should have kept my distance, Father, but instead, I let my heart fall. Not for the woman she thought I was speaking to, but for the way she saw him. A man who wasn't me, a man who never existed.
Did she trust this false man?
Completely. She opened her heart wide, unafraid. She shared childhood memories, spoke of scars no one else knew, and even confessed her dreams of building a future together. Each time, I wanted to tell her the truth, that the man she loved was a shadow, a phantom I created out of desperation. But I didn't. Instead, I deepened the lie, inventing stories, fabricating moments of a life I never lived. And the cruelest irony, she loved me for the very qualities I didn't possess in reality. Every time she whispered, "I feel like I finally found you," I wanted to scream, "You've lost me forever."
Did she ever suspect?
Once, late at night, she asked me for a video call. My blood froze. I panicked, inventing excuses about poor internet, about being camera shy, about anything that would buy me time. She laughed it off at first, calling me silly. But I saw it, the seed of doubt, small but dangerous, planted in her heart. I knew the day would come when words wouldn't be enough. That's the curse of lies, Father. They demand constant maintenance, constant repair. One small crack and the whole mask begins to crumble, and I was holding it together with trembling hands.
Did she ask to meet you?
Yes. And when she did, my stomach twisted into knots. She spoke with such innocence, suggesting a cafe downtown, promising it didn't have to be long, just a moment to see the man who had changed her world. I agreed, Father. I actually said, yes. But the moment the day came, I sat in my car parked across the street, watching the cafe through the windshield as my chest burned with shame. She waited, Minutes turned to hours. She checked her phone, then lowered her head, defeated, and finally walked away. And I drove home in silence, suffocated by the realization that my cowardice had broken something beautiful.
What did you feel that night?
A kind of guilt that doesn't let you breathe. I stared at the ceiling, Father, asking myself if I had crossed from sinner to monster. She had trusted me with her heart, her hopes, her fragile soul, and I gave her nothing but smoke. Every message from her phone after that carried a shadow of pain, a hesitation in her words, a fracture I couldn't repair. And yet, I couldn't let go. I wanted her too much. The guilt didn't stop me. It became part of me, like a disease I didn't want cured.
Did you ever think of confessing to her directly?
Every day. The truth sat on my tongue like a burning coal. I imagined sending her one long message, typing the words, "I'm not who you think I am." Sometimes I wrote it out fully, my finger trembling over the send button. But then I pictured her face, her tears, the way her trust would shatter like glass. I couldn't bear to be the one who destroyed her faith in love, so I erased it every time. And yet the silence wasn't mercy. It was another crime. I let her keep loving a ghost, Father, a ghost of my own making.
So when did everything collapse?
One evening, she called me again. No excuses this time. She begged, "Please, I just want to see your eyes." Her voice cracked, and I heard both love and suspicion fighting inside her. I couldn't answer. My throat locked. And then, silence. She hung up. The next message she sent wasn't sweet or tender. It was filled with anger, confusion, and betrayal. She wrote, "You're not real, are you?" I felt the weight of my lies crashing down all at once. My chest tightened, and for the first time, I realized I might lose her forever.
Did you finally reveal the truth?
Not directly. Cowardice ruled me once again. Instead, I tried to soften the blow, telling her I had reasons for hiding, that my life was complicated, that I wasn't ready for her to see me yet. But she wasn't fooled. She demanded answers, proof, anything real, and I had nothing. I remember her final message before the silence began. "Who are you really?" Or should I say, "What are you?" Father, those words pierced deeper than any knife, because I wasn't a man in her eyes anymore. I was a fraud, a shadow, a cruel game.
Did she leave you?
Yes, completely. One day the messages just stopped. Her online presence vanished from my world. No replies, no last words, just silence, heavy and suffocating. I kept checking my phone obsessively, refreshing, waiting for something, anything. Days turned into weeks, and still nothing. It was like she had erased me from her life, like I was never real at all. And perhaps, Father, she was right, because the man she loved never existed. But the pain, that was real. The emptiness she left behind was more real than anything I'd ever felt.
Do you still love her, even now?
Yes. And that's the cruelest punishment. I loved her with everything I had, but she never loved me. She loved a mask, a fabricated life, a name that wasn't mine. I wake up at night hearing her laugh in my dreams, remembering her words, her voice calling me, my love. And then I wake to reality, alone, guilty, drowning in shame. Father, how can love feel so real and yet be built on nothing but lies? I carry her ghost with me everywhere. Not the woman herself, but the version of her that once believed in me.
And what if she discovers who you are?
That fear keeps me awake. Sometimes I imagine her finding my real profile, my real face, and realizing the stranger who stole her heart is just an ordinary man with nothing to offer. Would she hate me? Would she expose me? Or would she pity me? I don't know which is worse. Part of me wishes she would never know, but another part secretly prays she does, because then at least she would see me, not the mask, not the lie, just me. even if it means she'll never forgive me.
Why have you brought this burden here today, my son?
Because I cannot carry it alone anymore. The weight of my lies crushes me, Father. I didn't just lose her, I lost myself in the process. I don't seek forgiveness. I don't deserve it. What I seek is release, a moment of silence in this storm. My punishment is eternal, to live knowing I built love on a lie, and in doing so, destroyed something pure. I will never escape it. I will never forgive myself. And maybe that's exactly what I deserve.